Hey everybody, how you doing? EDGYTIM back with you at the worldwide headquarters, and yeah, why am I wearing an old White Sox hat? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just don't even get me started on baseball season. But hey, we under 40 days. We're really close here. It's really sad. You get older, you got to look. I know that as I'm recording this, I've been going through a lot of preseason stuff, and really, guys, it's just kind of beginning. To be honest with you, I got a whole lot more coming your way. Probably early next week, I'm going to start digging in deeper and deeper into recruiting list rankings, doing a lot of stuff player centric next week. So get used to that. I've already kind of done my 8A through 4A polls. If you're an Edgy Nation subscriber, thank you. You're watching this, so you must be. So again, kind of doing a little bit more team stuff this week, but going into next week. Yeah, we're 38 days, folks, from kickoff. So again, thanks for hanging around. Thanks for checking out all the content. Definitely seeing the numbers rise and the interest and posts and clicks and everything else. So it's always a good thing. So all right, today. So I do this little thing and I go, well, let's start digging in the Chicagoland top 30 preseason poll because, well, that's just kind of what I do, and it's about that time. And I always like to try to get my stuff out before everybody else because, well, it's what I expect from myself, and I'm sure you probably expect that from me as well. And if I do, I do, and if I don't, I don't. It's fine. I'm not going to lose sleep over it, but I definitely try to do the homework and show you that I can do the homework, and we can talk about these teams. So today, yesterday being Monday, I listed just an overview of several teams that I would consider for the top 30. Not a lot of blowback from you, the fans, so that's generally a good sign that I wasn't way off on the teams that I think have a chance. But now it gets actually not a little harder. It gets a lot harder today. So I try to come up with some teams that I would consider locks, and I'm trying to limit myself to a top 10. And honestly, this go around, as opposed to maybe the last few years, a lot harder this time around. And I'll explain why. I'm going to go through team for team here and give you some thoughts and idea why I think this team might be a lock, even though in a lot of cases, man, some of these conference and non-conference schedules are ridiculous. So we will get into that. But even so, I always approach this preseason as probably more of a strength, just an overall strength, and admittedly, a lot of this is based on previous reputation as well. Because I know right now, and this happens every year, there's going to be a handful of teams that they're going to make the top 30, and they're going to get beat week 1, and they might get beat week 2, and then out really quick. So happens every year. It's no problem. I don't lose any sleep over it. I just do the best job I can, and if I nail the top 30 every week, well, what the hell fun is that? That's no fun at all. And I've explained this many times, and I've said this. I truly mean it. I hope there's chaos every single week, because if there's chaos in the rankings every single week, it makes it fun. I have to turn off my phone. My daughter trying to call me. Sorry, honey, you're going to voicemail. These guys are way too important to interrupt the phone call from my daughter. So again, let's get into this. I'm going to go through the teams. I'll start at the top, and I'm going through my teams list that I think should make it. So just if you're wondering what order I'm going in, this is not a ranking order either. It might turn out that way, but it really isn't. I just happen to be starting at the very top with Loyola. Loyola, I definitely think is a lock. Certainly part of that off of reputation, part of that off the fact that they've just kicked ass for several years here. And yeah, the non-conference schedule is really strong. And again, love the fact that they're going down to Illinois State to play East St. Louis in week 1. Week 2 is Glenbard West on a Saturday, which again, wonderful, wonderful game. And then even continuing to go down the line for Loyola, Wheaton, St. Francis, and Rice in the first 4 weeks. It's a really good opening part of the schedule. But again, it's Loyola. They've got plenty back, Ryan Fitzgerald, and just you can keep firing off the name Donovan Robinson, Drew Mack. It's a loaded Loyola team. deserved of the reputation. It's well earned, and they, in my opinion, are a lock into the top 30 preseason poll. Okay, enough of that. Mount Carmel. Going to be a little different team this year for Mount Carmel. We haven't talked a ton about the Caravan. I'm hoping to get out to see a practice relatively soon. Going to have a lot of newer faces this year. That was a tremendous senior class that Jordan Lynch graduated this spring. And so, again, it's going to be a greener starting lineup, a less experienced starting lineup. Still a very talented team and a deep team. So, again, might take this team a couple of weeks to get rolling, but I think once they do, and again, it's such a cliche, but it's true. I would rather play the Caravan in week 1 and week 2 versus week 8 or week 9, because I think by the time we get to the end of that season, I think the Caravan's going to be rolling. And again, we mentioned the Hun School out of New Jersey, generally a power out in New Jersey, very good opponent, St. Rita Naz early on. So again, nothing's going to come easy, but I think the talent's there. And, again, Mr. Elliott, a quarterback from Mount Carmel, he's going to win a lot of games for the Caravan. No doubt about it. And, Jack Elliott's just special. And, again, expecting big things from him. A lot of other schools down the line here. I mean, you've got Brother Rice and Ignatius. Immaculate Conception. Not sure what we're going to get out of the Knights this year. Again, we talked about graduation. Strong senior class for ICCP last year. So, again, they're going to be a little bit less experienced than they've been in the past couple of years. Still going to be very strong. But then again, you look at schedules. ICCP, loaded schedule again. So, Naz and Wheaton St. Francis, this is one I played ping pong with going back and forth. Now, if I'm basing it off of just talent, returning starters, taking the whole schedule thing out of the equation, because let's face it, especially for Naz, you almost have to. I'm basically going to consider both of them locks right now. I'm just giving you that from kind of a part of a mix of a reputation standpoint. I think an overall talent standpoint, Wheaton St. Francis just truly reloads this year. They are going to be very good. Tremendous sophomore quarterback. Again, talent everywhere. They're going to win a lot of games. Now, honestly, St. Francis' schedule is nothing easy. Kenwood to open. They should be fine. Lift for life out of St. Louis. Again, I have no idea. This could be Ohio State and drag for all we know. No idea. They might be great. They might be terrible. I guess we'll find out week 2 down at East St. Louis. That game, by the way, in East St. Louis is part of the Classic, so that'll be fun. And then again, Loyola and St. Rita. So again, loaded for St. Francis and Naz. The same thing. And we all know the story with Naz. Naz has struggled in the regular season because look at the damn schedule they're playing. Is this the year? I think this could be, and hopefully for Naz will be the year they come out firing and have a really good regular season and get a bunch of wins. They open against Kankakee, which again has been obviously one of the top games in Chicagoland over the past handful of years to start the season. But they play Kenwood, but then they go Mount Carmel, Immaculate Conception, JCA. Nothing easy there whatsoever. But again, based off of talent, based off of reputation, I would be inclined to put Naz and St. Francis in the initial preseason top 30. Now, one thing I also want to point out, and it's very important, this does not mean I am going to rank them in this order. They are not going to be ranked in this order. So I just want to make that clear. I am not throwing together like a top 10 right now. Now, a few of them might work out that way, but I'm promising you they are not going to wind up being ranked this way. JCA, again, a lot of returning starters back, one that I'm playing ping pong back and forth with. The schedule, pretty damn rugged for the Hilltoppers this year. They're going to wind up making the 30, but I wouldn't consider them a lock right now. We'll get into that down the road a little bit. Maine South, even though that early and non-conference schedule is terrific for the Hawks, they open up on the road at Lincoln Way East. They also play Warren, Hersey, and then also Barrington. Great first 4 weeks for the Hawks. I think they'll be fine. It's Maine South. They're just damn good every year. Reputation definitely plays into that. They are going to be a lock. I'm going to say Morgan Park's going to be a lock here, and here's why. Number one, Chris James has built this team up. They had a good run last year. They have a good run the last couple of years in the postseason. The schedule not overwhelming, solid though. The non-conference portion solid. At Marist, again, what are we going to get from the Red Hawks? We don't know. That'll be a great opening game. Oak Park River Forest in week 2, good opponent. But other than that, then Morgan Park goes into the public league. I think they'll be fine. Obviously, some challenges. I think of Simeon right off the top of my head. We'll throw Kenwood in there as well. But in general, I think Morgan Park can wind up having a good year, so I'm going to consider them a lock. Now, where I put them in the 30, that's to be determined. I think Morgan Park gets in. Batavia, man, I don't know. There's probably 4 schools right now in the Duquesne that I could see doing some big things and possibly having a shot to win the conference. But, man, you got to tip your hat to Batavia. Dennis Piron and his coaches do a tremendous job. Yeah, they're going to be a little bit greener. Graduated some key kids from a year ago. I just think the talent level, the numbers, everything else in Batavia, they're going to find a way. And again, they open up at Glenbard West. Not an easy opening game, but I think the schedule gets okay that for Batavia the rest of the year. I'm going to say Batavia is a lock. Also going to say Cary Grove's a lock to get in the top 30 to begin the preseason. They're in the lock conference in the Fox Valley. Certainly some challenges. I think of Prairie Ridge right off the top, Huntley, Jacobs as well. I just think you got to go. And again, we talk about that reputation going in. Cary Grove has earned every bit of that reputation, especially the last couple of wins over an East St. Louis team that's been loaded in the finals. Cary Grove gets into the top 30. Now, going down the line, it gets interesting. We'll talk about the mid-suburban real quick. Mid-suburban West, in my eyes, it's probably between Palatine and Barrington. Kind of rough. Both have really good non-conference opponents. You could flip a coin. One of them's going to get into the 30. I just don't know who right now, to be honest. And then you look at the East. Hersey should be very good. I mean, Colton Gamino and Logan Farrell, they got some star powers. A very good team. Saw Hersey play last year, and Tommy Nelson does a great job at that program. That non-conference schedule is rough, pal. Let me tell you, at Warren, Barrington, and Maine South, those first 3 weeks, Hersey's going to get tested right out of the box. I'm more inclined to go with them, though, so we'll see when it comes down to it. I'm kind of on the fence with Hersey, but I think they're going to wind up in the 30. Warren Township, again, non-conference slate, pretty good. Hersey, Maine South, I still think they're the team to beat in the North Suburban. I think they've earned that reputation. They've been a power to North Suburbs in the last 6-7 years. Well-deserved. And yeah, Warren's a lock in the top 30, no question. Southland Conference, Kankakee, Crete. Kankakee, very good non-conference schedule. Same with Crete. Both teams know that they're not going to get a whole bunch of pushback, minus playing each other in the Southland Conference. So they schedule up, and I think it's a great thing. I'm probably going to end up putting one of these teams into the 30. I don't consider either one a lock right now. I still need to figure that out a bit. But they're both going to be very good, and they're both going to be playoff teams. Just can't figure out and sort out who's going to get in right now and who won't. Southwest Prairie West, I don't know. We'll put in Minooka, Plainfield North, Yorkville, Oswego, into a hat. We'll throw Oswego East in there into the hat, and we'll just pick a name. Seriously. I think Oswego is going to be better this year. Yorkville is a program a lot of people still don't talk about, but they should. Again, Plainfield North, I was impressed with this summer. A lot of speed, a lot of athleticism. It's a typical Prairie West this year. Someone's going to come out of there with a win, but it'll be very tight. See a lot of close games being played in that conference. I'm still trying to determine who's going to win that conference, let alone if they're a top 30 team. We'll see. Lincoln Way East is a lock. I mean, yeah, love the fact that they're playing Maine South week 1. Also love the fact that they're going down to play in the East St. Louis Scholars Classic and take on a St. Francis Academy team from Florida. Again, don't know a whole lot about St. Francis Academy in Florida. I will get more information on them. Even so, in the meantime, the schedule looks a little differently. Neuqua Valley is an interesting matchup for sure, along with Naperville Central and Naperville North. I still think East is a fit. And again, we talk about that conference too. What do you do with the DVC teams that are mixed in this year with the Southwest suburban teams? It's a really good question, and I'm still searching for answers. So we'll see. Might see another Southwest suburban / DVC team cracking the 30, but still haven't figured out who that is. But I do know that Lincoln Way East is going to be a lock. And then the West Suburban Silver. Oh boy. Well, you got York, you got Downers North coming off a 7A state title game. You've got Glenbard West, who I think is going to be they're going to be a better team this year than they were last year. Hinsdale Central looked very solid this summer. I don't know. One of them's going to get in. This is how someone's got to get in. I'm a little more inclined to give that tip of the cap right now to York, just from the fact that I think if you look at the non-conference schedule, I think early on the Dukes, not easy, but not overwhelming either. So I think York might get it, but Downers North, man, they're good. They look good this summer too. So I'm still trying to figure out that order. And as I mentioned, Glenbard West, those first 2 weeks are brutal. I tell you what, Glenbard West is going to have their hands full the first 2 weeks, Batavia and Loyola. Boy, they come out of that 2-0. There's no doubt they're going to be pretty high in the 30. But we'll see. Those are two scary games. And Hinsdale Central, too. Naperville North and Bolingbrook, two very good opening games. Still trying to figure out. So one team from the West Suburban Silver is going to get in. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure out a lot of this stuff. But there you go. Just my thoughts. And enjoy. And lots more stuff coming your way. So hang in there, folks. Have a good rest of the day and a good rest of the week.